Okay. So I'm a little I was gonna just drink a Focus right now, but I'm gonna save my Focus and I'm actually just having straight tequila. So we're gonna there is ice. There's also ice in the cup. Happy hour. Cheers. My kids' Christmas choir concert is right after this. So we're gonna have a good time. All right. So let me find the chat so we can see what everybody's drinking. Welcome everybody. Water. Well done, Melissa. Kudos to you. Chardonnay and water. You're double fisting, Natalie. I like it. Protein shake. Of course you are. Of course you are, Emily. It's because it's the middle of the day and you're good like that. So y'all
It's early. It's a little early.
It is. Yeah, it's early for y'all for sure. It's 3 o'clock here, and I'm like, oh gosh. Okay, yeah, Brittany, of course, is drinking. Ooh, a passion fruit seltzer. That sounds cool, Stacy. Is it like a White Claw, or is it like a healthy version of something?
No, it's just the Wegmans passion fruit seltzer. It's really good.
Oh, yeah, it sounds good. I love passion fruit. Okay, well, there's going to be a few more girls hopping on because I sent out the wrong Zoom number in my our SheMoves collective that we had here in the Memphis area. I have a group text for all of those girls, and so I sent all 55 women the wrong Zoom link, but hopefully they'll text me if they can't get on. And I had to schedule another one. So we're gonna get started. Emily, has Sarah hopped on yet? I don't think I've seen her hop on yet. Okay, she's
not yet.
Oh yeah, she is. There she is. I see her.
Great.
Okay. Yay. Okay, wonderful. Well, we have a really fun happy hour planned for us today, and thank y'all for joining us. I'm not sure if we're going to get to watch Crystal working out while we're doing this happy hour, or if she's building something. I can't really tell what's happening. She's building something. Okay. Crystal, what are you doing? Like, no, I'm turning it off so y'all can't see. Okay.
I'm building a squat rack and a home gym.
Well, of course you are. A squat rack. Yeah, you could do so much more with a squat rack. You've been doing so much working out outside without a squat rack, though. It's been pretty impressive. Cool. All right. Well, I wish we could watch this whole thing unfold like a reality show. All right. So we're gonna do a toast to kick us off today. So whether you've got your water or your seltzer or your protein shake, whatever you've got, your herbal tea, Tiffany, your little hot tea. I love it. All right, so hold up your cup. I see a couple of SheMoves cups. Carla, you got your cup? Where you at? All right, guys. Well, here, cheers to you guys to the holidays.
Cheers.
I'm glad Emily's unmuted because otherwise it was kind of like.
No, I was trying to give you a little love, a little action.
It's like when you're like, isn't everybody excited? And everybody's like,
it's like crickets.
I tell my classes all the time, I'm like, this is like church in the South. If you don't amen me, we will just keep going. We will just keep going through the whole day. We will, like if I'm a bad preacher in the South. All right. So while we're getting started and chatting and stuff, can I do that? Make you co-host? Let's do it. How do I do that? We're also going to put in the chat. Here we go. It doesn't give me an option to make you a co-host. It just says make you the host, Tiffany, because she was going to let people in the chat. Can you see when people are entering the chat, Emily? No. Okay. Well, I don't see anybody trying to get in right now. Put in the chat what your favorite holiday treat / indulgence, whatever it is. I assume it's mostly desserty things for most of us, if it's like an indulgence, so to speak. But I would love to put that in the chat because of our super fun special guest today. In light of her, Casey, back up. You're gonna have to. Is that some kind of Polish thing? What is that? I don't even know how to say that.
They're called kolaches, and the donut shops here in Texas sell them. And a kolache is a traditional Czech breakfast thing, and so it's a pastry, and it has typically, like the traditional ones would have either cream cheese or like a fruit filling in the middle. But in Texas, we took it a step further and we just do, basically it's a sweet dough, like the same dough you would make a glazed donut with, without the glaze, but a sweet dough. And we wrap like basically a sausage, like a cheddar wurst. So it's it's like meat and cheese and then sweet dough wrapped around it. And
Wow.
once a month. So I have the same thing for breakfast every day. And then on the last Saturday of every month, I go to a local donut shop and I get kolaches. It's my treat.
I've never heard of that. Brittany, what's your face palm? Because Brittany's also from Texas. She used to live, she was border patrol in Laredo. And
Okay.
so will all these things that they have in Texas that we don't have here. She's like, you got to have this. Or like, what was the other one, Brittany? Whataburger. We don't have that. We don't have that here. We're getting one, and she's like, it's the best ever. I'm like, I just don't even know what that is.
If you're wasted, it's great.
Perfect.
Like Crystal Burgers. That's the only time people go to Crystal, I think, is like at 2 a.m. after they leave the bar. All right, so we're seeing we've got Brittany. Oh, Brittany, ice cream. We've got ham, all the sweets, tamales. Yeah, look at you guys. There's quite the variety. I love it. Not as many sweet things as I thought, but more than one person. Tamales is your holiday indulgence.
They're so bad for you and they're so delicious.
So, but I didn't think of that as like a holiday food.
Oh yeah.
Is it?
Well, is it
Well,
Arizona people?
Well, I mean, it's a Mexican tradition to have tamales on December 24th for dinner.
Christmas Eve, yeah.
And then, I mean, if you're in the Southwest, I would think that that's a thing as well there,
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
like hash green chilies.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Yes.
interesting. Yeah, we don't, that's not a tradition here. I know, I mean, obviously I like tamales, but if people ever make vegetarian ones, I'll eat them. Okay, so, all right, enough chatting. Sorry, I'm just like trying to just decompress from the literal shit show that just happened at my house, literally with the dog. All right, so just here's once again. Okay, so we're gonna do some prizes and stuff at the end. X Endurance has donated a couple of different products that we're going to talk about, and some Lululemon shirts, which we're really excited about giving away. So you'll want to stick around, and I'm going to be putting everyone's names in a drawing, like in my cup, so that we can do some drawings at the end. But I'm going to go ahead and boot it over to Emily so that she can introduce our guest speaker after she talks a little bit about one of her favorite products. So Emily.
Thank you. Okay, so I am going to talk to you guys just quickly about our lean protein. I think most of you are pretty familiar with it, but it's one of my favorite products by far that X Endurance carries. So it is a vegan protein, and it's a chickpea and pea blend. So if you've had vegan proteins elsewhere, like from Sprouts or Costco, they're pretty nasty and they taste horrible. But you just choke them down. But I think our vegan protein actually tastes really, really good. Like I said, it's a chickpea and pea blend. It has 20 grams of protein, and it's a really clean protein source. It only has 1 gram of fat and 6 carbs, and then 20 grams of protein. So it's a pretty awesome protein packed post-workout, or sometimes people use it as a meal replacement because it's really filling. My favorite combo is I drink it right after my workout, and I just shake it with 8 ounces of almond milk cold and drink it that way. But it's really, really good in smoothies, and we have all kinds of varieties that people have provided us in this group, with a banana, some peanut butter, almond milk, and ice is really bomb too. One of the things that's amazing about this protein is that it's a really comprehensive product because it has the superfood greens. So the superfood greens are organic, and they contain 40% of your the daily value of vitamins and minerals. So spirulina, chlorella, all these really healthy microgreens that are really good for you. So the other cool thing about the lean protein is that it's like kind of a cakey substance. So like if you accidentally spill it all over your car when you're pouring it into your shaker, it's going to be super sticky and get everywhere. But the great thing about it is that it makes it really good for baking. So I use it in muffins and donuts and pancakes for my kids, and I don't know the baking term because I'm really bad in the kitchen, but it binds together well, and it's really fluffy and delicious. And then it's a nice way to sneak extra greens into some healthy baked goods or breakfast items for your fam. So that is kind of my endorsement for the lean protein. I love it. It's really, really easy on your gut, and even really discerning vegetarians and vegans typically love it as well. And it's gluten-free, soy-free, dairy-free, vegetarian and vegan friendly. So it's awesome. And that kind of enables me to segue into our amazing guest that we have on today, which is one of my best friends, Sarah Chisholm. She is really quite talented in the kitchen, very much the opposite of me. She has a really interesting life story. She was a professional ballerina at one point, for a long time, had a professional ballet career. And then when she retired from that life, she was a pastry chef. So very, very talented in the kitchen. And I'm super lucky to be the recipient of her baking magic. She has a killer lean protein muffin recipe, which X Endurance recently posted on their Instagram. So I'll dig it up and post it here in the chat too. Hers are much more delicious and savory than mine. Mine are like so basic, and hers have all these yummy spices and stuff in it. So I'll post that for you to enjoy. But Sarah recently launched a company called Wild Rye, and I'll let her tell you more about it. But I can tell you that it is the most delicious boxed pancake and cake mix that you can buy, and really clean. There's gluten-free and dairy-free options for that as well. The pancakes are honestly out of this world. So I'm really excited to have her on here to share with you guys. So with that, Miss Sarah, you ready to roll? You may have to
Am I
unmute
allowed
her.
to just
Oh yeah,
unmute
there we
myself?
go. Yeah, it's your
Okay.
day.
Hi guys. I'm so
Hi.
excited to be on here. I love the lean protein. I'm so glad you talked, because those muffins were like, I took a recipe and I was like, well, how do I make this chefy and like get my spin in it? And so it was actually really love that recipe. And I
So
make
good.
it once a week. So yeah, it's awesome. And it's mostly lean protein as the like dry ingredient. So it feels really and awesome if we can find it. So how should I share? What do you guys want to know? I could just tell you about Wild Rye, or maybe talk about, since you mentioned cakes, I could talk more about those. What do you want to know?
Why don't you tell us like how Wild Rye came to be and why you launched it, and then tell us like your favorite mixes.
It's gonna be impossible. So I, like Emily mentioned, the world of Bay, which was an incredible world. I did not have a relationship with food, to say the least. And after leaving Valley and getting into the food industry, I really, for health and for fun, for all the different ways that we live, right? So well, but I also enjoy myself, and so the cake mix company that I'm baking and sharing and feeding my friends' kids and my friends and myself.
Hey, Sarah, hold on, because you're cutting out really badly.
What?
I don't want you to, we can't, your connection is wildly cutting out. So I don't want you to miss what you're saying. Is there a better room in your house maybe for your connection?
Well, I'm by
Tiffany suggested possibly turning off your camera. So maybe if we just hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry, you guys.
That's okay.
No, we're
used to this.
Yeah, and we could understand what you were saying, but it was just breaking up, and we can't see you. You were frozen.
How's this with my camera off?
It might be better. Let's try.
Okay. So I'm like, let's try to come up with a good solution here so that you guys can hear me. Is this any better?
I think that is better. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So what I really found when I was talking to my friends who love to bake or are nervous about baking, but want to have like fun with their kids in the kitchen, there's a ton of different ways people are eating nowadays. So some of my friends had kids who were gluten-free or dairy-free, or were trying to just eat a little bit more plant-based, for whatever the reason. And so I was like, I can make delicious cakes that people can make at home easily, that also fit in with the different dietary needs of these days. And so something that I think is really unique to Wild Rye is that we have mixes that are plant-based, gluten-free. We have like a super clean pancake mix that if you want to make it into waffles and douse it in like whipped cream and maple syrup for your kids, you totally can. But if you want a protein pancake for yourself, you can do that too. And I just feel really inspired by these recipes and these formulas because they've become like a foolproof way to improve the way people bake, the way you bake in your home. And I'm excited to be on here sharing it with you all. This is so fun.
Love that. Sarah, tell people about the snack cake phenomenon. That was the news to me because I'm not very foodie-ish.
Oh my gosh, I love that the world is embracing the idea of a snack cake. So I think when I say cake, a lot of people will think of like a 2-layered frosted celebration cake with sprinkles, and it's like very celebratory. But there's this whole other world of cakes that can be made in like a matter of moments. So like no more than 10 minutes, they'll be done baking in under an hour, and they can kind of hang out on your kitchen counter. They don't need frosting, maybe a glaze, maybe some powdered sugar, but they're meant to just be like enjoyed piece by piece, morsel by morsel. So like for the holidays, for example, if my parents are in town, I'll bake off an olive oil cake in like a loaf pan and leave it by the coffee maker so people can just like take a slice with coffee. Or if I go to bed before them and they want dessert, they can take a slice with some wine at the end of the night. It's kind of just this perfect every occasion cake to satisfy you and make you feel like you're cared for and like treating yourself. And the snack cake is probably the way I use Wild Rye the most, honestly. It's so fun.
I love that. They're so good.
Emily made a really good version of our vanilla cake. We were on a retreat together and I was like, okay, who's the worst in the kitchen that I know? And it's of our group for sure.
100%.
And so I was like, all right, if Emily can make this and make it delicious, we're set. And she made this super awesome gluten-free vanilla cake, and she made it with coconut oil. And it was like at the end of the night, and it came out so good. We served it with strawberries, and I was like, we've got it. If Emily can make it, anyone can make it.
I told her that should be like her slogan, but I'm not well known enough for that. But literally, like my kids can make these boxes. So you, I don't know if we even clarified exactly what the company is, but they're baking. So you can go buy like Duncan Hines right at Target cake mixes, and they have tons of like additives and crazy things, which all of us on here are really cognizant about what we're putting in our bodies and ingredients and that kind of thing. And so Sarah was much like Endurance. She was very careful to source her ingredients. Like Sarah, tell about the vanilla and those things that I've never thought about in my life before.
Yeah, totally. So that's what it was so cool hearing how Endurance sources products, because I really relate to this, because I'm not just buying the cheapest vanilla that I can find. I am sourcing vanilla from Madagascar, and vanilla is an orchid that has to be hand pollinated or pollinated by bees or hummingbirds. Like it's super hard to grow these things and to be able to produce like this really fragrant and beautiful spice that we all know and love. And so I found this fair trade company that has been making vanilla forever, and they take you through the process and they allow us to import it and put it into our mixes. So that's one ingredient, for example, that I'm just obsessed over. And our cocoa powder is this really luxurious cocoa powder I found out about when I was working in a restaurant in Phoenix called St. Francis. And like, this is the kind of cocoa powder that restaurants all over the world use. It's from France, and it's just really special. So all of our ingredients are sourced kind of like piece by piece to find the perfect thing. And I think it lends to a really special product that you don't need to add all these stabilizers and artificial things to, because the quality of our ingredients is just standalone and really good.
I love it. Okay, you guys, if you have any questions for Sarah, put them in the chat and I'll be happy to facilitate that. Sarah, I was thinking like you could perhaps give us some insight on if we were looking to like lighten up baked goods and make them a little cleaner, healthier, if you have any like substitutions or recommendations on easy ways to do that, to make things a little lighter.
I mean, I think for the next however many days, like 20 days left of this month, I wouldn't worry so much about like what you're putting in your things. Like it's the end of the year, it's the holidays, just have fun and enjoy yourself and like enjoy this time. But I think especially like rolling into the new year is when I'm like, all right, I'm tightening it up. I got like a beach vacation coming up in February. So I got to feel good in my body. So that's when I really look to higher nutrient flours. So for example, like, and I love them because they're made with things like ground almonds and sorghum and corn. And so they have a lot of flavor naturally, and they're much more healthy, which means you don't need to add as much sugar or as much salt or as much fat to make these things taste better. So if you're trying to lighten up anything, I tend to reach for more nutrient dense things. So ground almonds, for example, or using olive oil as a replacement for some of the fats that you would see in baked goods, or even substituting like applesauce or mashed banana for eggs. It's oftentimes easily replaceable in baked goods. And so you're just adding more nutrients and inevitably, I think, improving the nutritional and like clean benefits of what you're eating.
Love that. I like applesauce on the pancakes too, because I'm not a sweet person. Like my indulgence is always spicy and salty. So sweet, like syrup, is just not my thing. So I always just do like a little bit of applesauce on top, and that's a really yummy thing. And also the pancakes are in general, healthy protein pancakes, or the pancakes that Sarah sells. I make like a big batch of them at the beginning of the week, and then they keep really well in the fridge for the kids. So I don't have to deal with breakfast in the morning, because as well as being a really bad cook, I'm really bad at mornings. So, you know, do what you gotta do.
Do you reheat them?
Pardon me?
Do you reheat them for your kiddos?
Sometimes, but sometimes no. I just grab them and eat them cold in the car with my hand. Really,
that's
classy.
awesome.
But the kids, I do reheat them because they're a little bit more finicky. Yeah.
You can also, like, I sometimes will make a batch of pancake batter or almond flour pancake batter, and you can leave the batter in the fridge for up to like 5 days, and it's going to be just fine. So that kind of takes out a prep step. So you can like prep pancake batter, and then if you want like a fresh, warm, fluffy pancake, just scoop out enough for you. Like I do that for my husband and I all the time. Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing. I didn't know that.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. And you can freeze them too, obviously.
Hack. I just saw this in the comments. Yeah, there you go. Meal prep hack.
No, they're amazing. So Sarah, tell us where we can buy them and where we can follow along with you and your blog and all the things.
So our website is the place to stay up to everything. It's wildryebaking.com, and I can type it in the chat, but that's where you're going to see everything. Our Instagram is at wildryebaking. We're located in a couple stores, retail in Arizona, and also one in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. But I'm really loving the e-commerce way of connecting because I have direct relationship with my customers, and I'm able to just interact with you in a more real and authentic way, I think. So I always like to direct people to wildryebaking.com to find us.
Perfect. And I think we have a discount code that we are offering, right?
Yes. Yeah, we're doing a discount. So enter SheMoves, just all caps, into, I can add that to the chat too, and that will get you 10% off your order, along with free shipping on orders over 50.
I just put the direct discounted link into the chat, y'all. So if you want to copy that and save it for later, or I can also send it out to everybody if you'd like, because I was telling Sarah this the other day on the phone. I have I've literally gone to her site on at least 2, maybe 3 occasions at this point, and put my things in my cart. And then the first time I got distracted and I think I had a question or whatever. And then Emily got her stuff in and posted a picture of it. And it was exactly all of the things that were in my cart. So when Sarah so graciously agreed to give our community a discount, I was like, this is a sign. I've got to follow through with my cart order and get that olive oil cake and that the coffee peanut butter coffee frosting. I just feel like I might just eat it with a spoon. It just sounds incredible.
Yeah, girl, get that and get it with the gluten-free chocolate cake. It's my favorite to pair with the peanut butter coffee frosting. So good.
Yeah.
No, I'm excited to share this with you. I think that the community that you guys have built is really amazing. And that's what Wild Rye is all about. So I'm excited to be able to offer anything that can like grow the circle of connection. And I'm here to talk about cooking and baking and all those things with any of you all the time, always.
Yeah, that's the other thing I was going to say. This is, I think, like your philosophy, since I've been a part of it with you, is I think really special in terms of taking, like, you want to be in the kitchen with people, and this is like an extension of like your love language in a way. And so I know that your intention is that you want to have conversation and community around baking too. So there's a lot of synergy with what you're doing, and I think what we've tried to build here and with X Endurance too. So I love it. Thank you for taking the time to be on today. If anybody has any other questions, drop it in the chat, or you can always DM Sarah too. But I encourage you to follow along with all her loveliness. Her cakes turn out really beautiful. I'm sure they look a lot like mine. But the bottom line is they taste really, really, really good. And honestly, they're pretty, it's like idiot proof, as we've discussed previously. So
yes,
love it. Thank you, my dear. All right, so I'm going to kick it back to you, Sarah Barker, unless we have any other Wild Rye Sarah Chisholm things. Sarah.
Yes, sorry, I was having to be really on my game because you kept saying Sarah, and I kept thinking,
I know, I'm
is she
so sorry.
is she kicking it back to me?
I'm like, Sarah
sorry.
Barker.
I know, and I got a little distracted. My phone was ringing, and I realized that neither my husband nor myself communicated who was picking up one of our children from the ice skating rink. So no one was picking her up. Okay, but now someone is, it takes a village. Just, when you have kids, you got to have all the people helping you out. Okay. So thank you, Sarah, for sharing all that. It was really funny because one of the first things that Sarah and I talked about when we talked on the phone the other day for the first time was whether or not our Sarahs have an H, because that's a big thing with people named Sarah. And then also we both have the middle name Elizabeth, because of course we do.
Of course you do.
Of course we do. It was really cute. It was little kindred spirits, and I absolutely love what you stand for, Sarah. I love what you're about. I love what this whole your baking company is about. Your aesthetic in general is so adorable on your Instagram feed and on your website, and I just think it's so beautiful, and I'm so excited that that we get to have a piece of that action, a piece of that cake, if you will. See what I did there? All right, so next up, another amazing firecracker of a woman who is just rocking and rolling in the world. We're gonna pivot a little bit and talk to a Fran Doctor about her amazing transformation story. Y'all, I realized that this time of year, I mean, I've been in the fitness industry for 24 years now. This time of year is always just kind of like a buildup, kind of like what Sarah was saying, everybody kind of gets on track in the new year, right? So it's almost kind of like a loading phase in December. And then in January, people just, everyone, we all get pumped, right? And we're ready to really get back on track. And so I've been looking at some transformation photos for like in Tiffany and a couple other girls and Sabina sent me some pictures of people that we think we need to feature, and Fran keeps coming up. Like, it's just like, oh my gosh, did you see Fran's post? Oh my gosh, and her adorable little dimples and her little smile when she's working out. I'm like, I don't look like that when I'm working out. But anyway, she has just got an amazing story, and so she was definitely one of the first few that we wanted to really feature, building up into being able to offer what we do to help others in the new year. And I just felt like we needed to also hear from her in person. So Fran, I'm going to kick it over to you if you'll unmute yourself and share a little bit about your story with us.
I would be happy to. Thank you for that lovely introduction, Sarah. Talking about my dimples, they run in the family, so I really can't take very much credit for that. But yeah, it's been an amazing transformation year for me. I mean, you talk about people getting started in January. It actually started for me like early last year, January, February. I'll just get right into it. I was in the hospital back then, and it was all issues pain related to being overweight. And I was doing everything I was told to do, taking the medicines, trying to let my body heal. And I just kept ending up back in the hospital. I walked with a limp, bursitis of the hip. I had just all kinds of things happening. And I finally, that was kind of like my come to Jesus moment where I was like, I got to do something different. I had to try something new, which for me was like, try to lose weight. So I started with just really trying to eat better, trying to eat a little bit less ice cream, you know, things like that. And it helped. I lost some weight, lost a few pounds, but then I reached out and tried to like find other things, try to find fitness related, activity related things. And that's when I found the Erin and Sarit community. And I got on board with one of their free, I think it's called the Rise Above, right? The Rise Above program. So it's like free workouts that they posted online. I gave them a try. I couldn't get through one. I was like, I couldn't hardly even get started. I had to go drink 2 things of espresso just to like get through one Rise Above program. But I didn't quit because it was just, they're so entertaining and so fun. And I kept trying. And then next thing I knew, I'm like, they're doing a webinar on one of their programs. And I'm like, all right, I'm doing this. I'm signing up. And I signed up for a 1-year program with them. And that was my huge decision. That was when I made the investment, I made a decision, I made the investment, and then I just jumped in because, you know, my money was behind it. Now I was committed to it. I jumped in, and it was like, I started noticing all of these people in the community, people who were heavier or had more weight than me, people who had less, like just all different ranges of lifestyle. And everybody was just like in that Facebook group, just posting. And you could just see everyone was trying, like no matter what area you were at, just try. So that's what I did. I tried and I got involved and I made some friends, and they kind of like pulled me in even more and like, let's do this January transformation, you know, Kickstarter thing. Let's do this real authentic weight loss. And it's like, when you have friends who are now into that, it makes it more fun and you want to do it. So I started doing it. Next thing I knew, I'm like learning all of these things I never knew about nutrition, you know, about movement. I went from like I would do 3 walks. That's what I could do in a week. Walk 3 times. Start trying to do the XND, 21 days of motion, right? Just little things like that. And then I was able to actually do a complete workout. Then I was able to do 3 workouts in a week. And it's like smaller progressions, step by step. And then I started getting a different kind of soreness. And Erin and Sarita are the coaches, and they were saying things like, well, try these supplements. They'll help. You know, they'll give you energy. They'll help with your muscle recovery. So I'm like, all right, you know, I didn't know what I was capable of, but I believed in what they were saying and I believed in them. And so I tried it and it worked. And I was like, all right, now I can go and I can do more. And now I can be more consistent. Now I can be more active. And I just kept going from there. I mean, once I got on board with this, with taking, you know, I started off with joint 4 with XND because I had really limited mobility, like with my knees. I could only bend so far. I couldn't even do like a reverse lunge. I couldn't get my knee all the way to the ground. That's a post out there, by the way, since we were talking about, you know, things that we post. I do have one out there that's like shows when I started what I was capable of doing. And then after I had lost a little bit of weight, well, a little bit, I lost like 40 pounds. And I was on the supplements, and it's like night and day what my body was able to do as a result of that. So, and I just kept going. I mean, so I started with I've done 3 of their transformation Kickstarter programs. I've done 2 of their real authentic weight loss programs, and I'm in their Ultimate Transformation Academy, which is a year long or longer if you want to go longer. And so I started at like 211 pounds, a little over about a year ago. And we just finished up the Real Authentic Weight Loss, which is the 8-week program. And I came out of that weighing 139 pounds. So that's like 72 pounds in a year. And if you would ask me when I got started, like when I was drinking 2 shots of espresso and couldn't get through one workout, that was not anything that would have been on my radar. Like I just wanted to get off. I just wanted to move from like obesity category to normal, possibly normal healthy weight. And I thought that might take like 5 years. But it's amazing, you know, it's getting with great coaches and a great program. These supplements really helping me. I mean, helping with the pain and with mobility. And then really the community, just being around a bunch of other women who are just trying hard every day to reach whatever their personal goals are, which is basically wellness, overall wellness. And that was one of the things that really drew me in also with XMD, just that they don't, you know, it's more than just about offering a product. It's really about gaining knowledge in all areas of wellness and working together with other people, you know, because it's easy to drop off if you're doing it by yourself, but when you're doing it in a community, your friends aren't going to let you, you know, they're not going to let you down. They're going to hold you up. They're going to hold you accountable, and they're going to inspire you just by doing what they're doing. It's inspiring to watch. So that's probably, I mean, I think I've said a lot, but I don't know if I covered everything. If you guys have any questions, let me know. How's on my Zoom just disappeared. Here we go. I'm back. Okay.
Fran, tell us what products you're on with X Endurance. Like, what all do you take?
So as I said, I started with the Joint 4, and then I got into Motion Box. So those are my first big products. Joint 4, Essentials, Focus. I was able to switch from the espresso, switch over to Focus, which has been fantastic. Like, I don't need espressos to do a workout anymore. I absolutely love, I mean, I get all 3 flavors of the Focus so that I can have variety, but that's basically my pre-workout. And then the proteins. I mean, I love the proteins. It's so easy. You know, I prep all my food and stuff, but in a pinch, if you need something quick, just shake up some of that protein and, you know, with almond milk, or after a workout, I'll just do it with water. And they're very tasty. I will admit, I've also taken the chocolate protein in a spoon and just put it in my mouth and pour with a sip of water. It satisfied my chocolate craving. I mean, it worked, you know. But yeah, I take all the products. Okay. I've have graduated to that point. The only thing that I don't take are energy gels and the Fuel 5, because I don't really do anything that I think would require that at this point. You know, all of my workouts are usually an hour at the most. But yeah, so I'll go through it real quick. I take Essentials, Joint 4, Immune Boost. I swear by the Immune Boost. I mean, knock on wood, honestly, people all around me and my family are getting sick all the time with colds and stuff like that. I don't even have to take my allergy medicine anymore. It's amazing. I do the Omega D3. I do the probiotic, prebiotic. That was a lifesaver. There was a point where I was like delaying some workouts because, you know, things were needing to happen at the time that I was scheduling a workout, but no more. I got on that probiotic, prebiotic, and it's, you know, it's a routine now. What might I be missing? Oh, I also do the deep sleep. That's been very helpful, just to get more of like, it doesn't really cause me to sleep longer, but I definitely get a more restful sleep. So sleep has been kind of a thing for me where I'm trying to increase the number of hours that I get. But with that, even if I don't increase the hours, with the limited hours that I get, it's fantastic. This is my son, Marcelo. Yes. Okay, just do this. Okay, there you go. Sorry about that. Yeah, I think that might be it. And like I said, I do all the proteins. And I do the lean, all the proteins, the chocolate, the vanilla, the lean. I also do Lean Plus. I've been doing that for quite a while. Here's something interesting about Lean Plus. So when I was going back and looking at my weight loss, and I was kind of like just looking at month by month how much I was dropping. And the percent, and then by percentage, it was like 1%, 2% a month. But then when I would do a program, when I would do an airness week program, I'd see like 7% drop in weight loss. Yeah, that's interesting, right? Then when I started lean plus, 7%. So I call that my 7 and 7. That's that's my magic number right there. So getting on a program with a great group of people and incorporating the supplements, it really, for me, on my personal statistics, it helped a lot.
That's amazing. Yeah. When you were like, oh, let's see, what am I on? What am I on? Okay, all of it. You're on all of it. It sounds like me. Like I really, and I'm sure several of us on the call, it's like we have, well, what is your must? What is your must have? And you're like, well, all of the things. Like I can't not take all of the things. So that is really impressive. So just to recap, Fran, you said you started out at 211 pounds.
Yeah, that's when I was in the hospital. So January, February 2020, I was around 211. And
how tall are you, Fran? Because you're a little thing, right?
I'm 5'6".
That's a lot of weight on a little body. So I'm sure you were achy and hurting.
Yeah, and here's the crazy. So what I was having, all of it was on my right side. I had bursitis of the hip on the right, and I was having bruised ribs. And so what the doctors were telling me, okay, don't sleep on your right-hand side. That was the answer. And then take all this, here's some pain medicine and here's this and that. But it was kind of hard not to sleep on my right because I'm a side sleeper,
Yeah. Well, and that's not a solution. That's not you know what I mean? That's not a solution. It's a Band-Aid to remedy
it's a limitation. Yeah, it's another limitation. And it was just like progressing down that road of like more and more limitations. And then with all the things that I've incorporated this year, it's like going from limited to limitless, right? And one of the things I was telling someone the other day is like, so I'm in my 40s and I'm more active now, more fit, and actually less weight than I was in my 20s. I mean, who does that? That's crazy, right? That's a lot of progress in 1 year. I mean, I'm still amazed at it.
Yeah, that's incredible, all of it. And those of you that were on the November call, where we got to hear from Tiffany about her health and fitness journey. I'm detecting a theme here of women. Well, I'm sure it's men too, but of those of us that are just we're looking for answers. We're looking for answers, and we're going to the people that we're trusting to be professional in those answers. What it really boils down to is, well, let's just go ahead and throw it out there that the healthcare providers and medical doctors are practicing medicine. There's a reason it's called a medical practice, in my opinion. And but what it really boils down to is us advocating for our own health, and you guys are asking questions and trying to find solutions that, like you're not accepting, oh, just sleep on your right side. Or Tiffany, oh well, this is what it is. You're just gonna have to deal with this for the rest of your life. And you're like, no, we're not gonna do that. Life's too short for that. So I love that. I love so many things that you just said, Fran. I think that my favorite line was the one I just typed in the chat, that limited to limitless. Like, I just think that is so powerful. So thank you for sharing that. One of the things that Fran mentioned was a game changer for her too, was the probiotic plus prebiotic. And that is one of the products that Robin Kellen at X Endurance Corporate has offered as one of our giveaways today. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in a giveaway before we wrap things up. I put everybody's names in my favorite mug, better late than ugly. So that's just, my life. And I don't know if you follow me on social media, on my stories the other day being Wednesday night, December 8th, our elf finally came, and I thought he was only 8 days late, speaking of being late. But according to Haven, my 14-year-old, she was like, no, the elf always comes the day after Thanksgiving. So he, in fact, was actually more like 3 weeks late. But whatever, we're not going to, you know what? The elf comes when the elf wants to come. He was in quarantine. All right. So our winner of our probiotic plus prebiotic which by the way, the prebiotic is basically the food for the probiotic. And also our probiotic has 4 specific strains of bacteria to improve vaginal health. So cheers to us. Our winner is Tiffany. Whoop, whoop. Speaking of Tiffany, so whoever's name I say next, that's gonna be, I'm gonna like manifest it into existence. That's who won. So congrats to you. If Emily, if you don't, we'll write that down just so I don't forget to tell, or you can tell Robin. Okay, so in wrapping things up, and I appreciate y'all being on, I actually we were going back and forth between, you know, some ideas of what we felt like might benefit us as a community and what we could use during the holiday times. And I had listened to a podcast the other day that really inspired me about the holiday hustle. And it was the girl's name is Kristen Boss. And she's kind of like an MLM motivational speaker type trainer. And I love her style of speaking. But one of the things that she said on the Holiday Hustle podcast was, you know, that it takes, like, we set up our holiday for all of this, like go, go, go. And then we forget to be present, and we forget to like embrace the holidays and our families. And I felt it in my core, because again, as a fitness professional and have, you know, having coaching nutritional clients and coaching people through their fitness in the new year, especially, it excites me. I love it. But all of the loading phase is during the busiest time of year for families and for us as humans, just the holidays in general. And I found myself year after year after year being so overwhelmed that I don't get to enjoy any of it. And then I feel guilty because I didn't get to take my kids to see this one thing, and to, you know what I mean? And and then I don't feel like I'm present. And she had so many great thoughts on really just kind of working harder at the beginning, like for a short amount of time at the beginning of the holidays, so that you don't have to work as hard through the holiday week itself or whatever. And I thought it was really powerful. So I'm not going to recap the whole podcast, but I wanted to just refer y'all to that podcast. Her name is Kristen Boss, like I said, and the podcast specifically was Holiday Hustle. And one of the things that she also talks about is she talks about intuitive eating as her kind of what's the word, her example, I guess, for lack of the actual vocabulary, of the example of what we do during the holidays in our work life. Like we cram, and we're just doing all the things. And she said there's a difference, you know, between just kind of letting go, like Sarah mentioned earlier, like we kind of slack off a little bit because we know we're gonna tighten things up in the new year, right? And she said, but there's a difference between that and just indulging in having a good holiday, and like just completely pumping the brakes and giving up basically, because you know you're going to get restarted in the holiday or after the holiday. And that's 2 different things. And I was talking to some girls, I think it was yesterday. Natalie, was it us talking about it yesterday at yoga? What were we talking about? Overindulging versus indulging? I don't remember who this conversation was with, but so at some point in the last 24 hours, I had this conversation, I thought it was you, about the difference between indulging and overindulging. So at the beginning of the call, we talked in the chat about our favorite treats and things like that, and how we really, I think Emily said, you know, it's the holidays, so we have tamales. Like it's like they're not the healthiest thing, you know, and but there's a difference between indulging in those things that we love and overindulging because we're putting off what inevitably is going to happen in the new year. And really, you know, that's not a wise thing either. It's harder to get restarted. So, but the other, oh, and by the way, Tiffany, you also get a pill case from X Endurance. Just, you know, squirrel. I forgot to tell you that. All right. But the other thing I wanted to talk about, speaking of Tiffany, is as well, is this blog that she sent me. We were talking about some things that kind of women deal with in the holiday times, and I had never actually heard this term before, but it's called compassion fatigue. Has anybody heard this phrase before? Crystal has. Crystal's like, yep. Well, I had never. Natalie's also nodding. Okay, well, I'm just behind the times, I guess. But this article that she sent me, I'll send it, or actually, Tiffany, if you could send it in the chat, so that the link you sent me to that to that blog that we were looking at. It's different than compassion fatigue is different than burnout. So burnout, we're doing all the things, we're pushing ourselves too hard, we're getting everything done, and then we eventually, hit a wall and we burn out. But compassion fatigue is more, I'm caring for so many people, and your empathy runs out and your self-care runs out because you feel guilty that you're not doing enough for everyone else, or you're pouring so much of yourself into other people, specifically at the holidays, but these are typically those of us that do this year round, right? It just kind of manifests bigger in the holidays. And then pretty soon you're not burnt out, you're completely empty, and you have nothing else to pour. Brittany feels attacked. Well, yeah, Brittany is the caregiver of all the people and all the things. But it is, and she has been for a long time, especially like, caring for your mother, being your mother's caregiver. You've been depleted for quite some time, sister. But it was really powerful, and it gave some great examples in the article that Tiffany put in the chat. It gave some really great examples of what that feels like, and also some ways to kind of combat it. And so I highly recommend y'all looking at that. So basically, I don't really have like an actual like training session or anything, but just go read the blog and listen to the podcast. There's yes, Casey. Oh my gosh, it will change your life. Like there are several other ones that are that, because I started kind of going down the rabbit hole of looking more into this and realized that we're gonna have to do a whole training on that one, like on this whole topic, because I feel like even if you're not a caregiver or in the healthcare industry or anything like that, I feel like all of us can probably relate to it in some capacity, just as women in general, because we're taking care of all the things. Although I did leave that cushion outside for that kennel for Gary Barker to deal with when he gets home. I did all the rest. Okay, so all right, we're gonna wrap this up, and I got a couple of announcements, and then we'll say goodbye. So question though, you can vote in the chat now because I'm going to take notes, but I'm going to put up a poll on the SheMoves Instagram and a poll on the Facebook page, and hopefully you're all part of both of those things. I know some of you, at least one of us, does not have Facebook and you're just doing the Instagram, so I'm going to put it on both. But as far as what day of the week this call would best serve you, because I realize Sundays are tricky for a lot of people. They're not tricky for me, but there's more people on this call than there were on the November call. So we want to make sure we get do it when you guys are available. So I'll put a poll up, and if you're like, oh, it's Wednesday nights at 4 p.m. or whatever, like, I mean, we call it happy hour. I guess it doesn't technically have to be a happy hour time frame, right? This isn't technically happy hour. Oh yes, thank you, Tiffany, for that. Yeah, the Facebook community is we try to keep it updated and post the things that we post on Instagram. But if you are just feeling inspired and you would love to help be an admin on the Facebook community, I would really love you if you message me privately, and I'll send you a present because I really could use some more hands in the Facebook community. It was thriving when we were doing the workouts because that's where we posted all the times and the people who were coaching and all the things. And then we shifted our focus to live events into the Instagram, and the Facebook is kind of like the forgotten child over in the corner. So we know a lot of people are still very, very, very much alive on Facebook. So we want to make sure we ramp that up. If you're just feeling like you need one more thing on your list, I would love you forever. Okay, so the reminder for the Wild Rye Baking Company discount code, if you missed the link earlier in the chat, or if you don't want to scroll up, the code is SheMoves, and it's for 10% off your order, but you also get free shipping for $50 orders or more. So it's really a great way to get both. And then this month, in a couple of weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we're going to be hanging out in Miami. Who's going to Miami? I'm so excited. The SheMoves company, the SheMoves Collective, Wild Rye Baking Company is in my head. We're doing the whole shebang, literally the whole shebang. It's a full 2-day event. The SheMoves portion is just a few hours on the 30th, and then there's a goal setting workshop. That's going to be a 4-hour workshop that Aaron and Sari have graciously opened up to virtual people, virtual attendees. And so it's extremely inexpensive. It's, I think, $47, Tiffany, Fran, Crystal, 40, Ashley's like, I got you. 47 bucks. And you can do the goal setting workshop virtually, which is really, really cheap. I mean, even the online influencers that I follow that do workshops that are like this are hundreds of dollars. So, and I'm pretty sure that it's hundreds of dollars for those of us attending in person too. So it's really a great value if you are willing to invest in yourself and setting up your new year, to just, set up those clear goals, get your roadmap, a battle plan, all the things for the new year. So if you're interested in that, Ashley, Riddle, how would they go about getting more information about that specifically?
I will drop the link here, or you can email me at admin@aaronandsarit.com.
Okay. Y'all got that? Okay. There's quite a few of the ENS Army gals on here that can answer y'all's questions if you're like, okay, but should I do it? Like, how's it going to work? And that kind of thing. So I'll be there. It'll be fun. All right. And last but not least, let's get some prizes. And am I forgetting anything? Literally, I have my agenda here and I always forget something important. Sabina, call me out. She's still on here. Like, there's always something. No?
I think you're good.
Y'all are so fun. I needed this today. It's been a week. It's been a week. All right. So that's why there's just tequila in my cup. Okay. And it's also Terramana tequila. So if you're a big fan of Dwayne Johnson, it's the Rocks Tequila. It's amazing. 10 out of 10 recommend.
Mhm.
If you're a tequila fan or if you're a fan of the Rock, either one. You can be both. All right, so let's get some drawings done. So Robin offered the probiotic plus prebiotic with the peel case. That's how we talk here. With the peel case, I have to tone down. I told Sarah this the other day. I have to tone down the Southern when I'm on these Zooms so that I sound more professional.
I think it's cute.
But it sure does come out. And like when I get real upset, and Emily can testify to my Marcos because I get real country and real Memphis real fast. So it's great.
Best.
All right. So the next winner is gonna get Deep Sleep. Who is on Deep Sleep? Who takes it? Who uses it? I know Brittany does too, or she has in the past. If anybody has anything that they want to say real quick about the Deep Sleep, shout it out while I'm doing this drawing, because it was a game changer for this brain that never ever stops. My body's exhausted, my brain's never going to stop, and it has rocked my world. Anybody gonna say anything about it? All right, well, you need it. Deep Sleep for the win. Okay.
I sleep like a rock. I can't even imagine. I don't need any sleep aids, so I can't help. But people that have sleep troubles, I've heard some incredible testimonials from it.
Well, and you also don't sleep for long periods of time. So
nope.
Brittany Fisher's the same way. I will tell y'all this, and then I'll tell y'all who won. I don't have trouble sleeping. Like I fall asleep once I fall asleep, I'm asleep. I don't do the whole can't fall asleep thing or whatever. But because I don't really slow down in my brain, I don't feel like I ever get that real deep sleep, the real good REM sleep, right? Like I don't really feel like that ever happens. But with Deep Sleep, I only take one, I don't take two, but I feel like it allows my body and my brain to kind of connect and to where I can actually get substantial sleep, if that makes sense. So I don't get a giant window of time to sleep either, but it really helps me out. All right, so our winner of Deep Sleep.
Sarah, I just want to say, like, I usually sleep 6. Deep sleep almost works too good for me because I get 6 hours of sleep, but when I do deep sleep, after 4 hours, I'm awake and I'm ready to go. So yeah, it's crazy.
1 or 2.
I do too.
And even the 2 is still under the addictive value of melatonin, right? Like it's got melatonin in it, but there's a percentage or a dosage that is considered addictive, and ours is not. It's under that, so you don't feel like you have to have it, right? That's beautiful. All right. So our winner of the deep sleep is Carla. Carla, how's your sleep?
With 2 kids?
Yeah,
How's
we've-
sleep? No, y'all get in my bed.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. I know you do. So cute. Yeah. So you win the deep sleep and the pillbox. And then last but not least, we've got a Lululemon SheMoves collective tee. Have y'all seen these on the site? They're black and it's got the script across the front. We're actually going to give away 2 of them. So if you already have it, let me know and we'll figure something out. Good job, Brittany. I just read that. I love it. The SheMoves collective top, if you already have it, let us know. Our winner is somebody that does not have it because I've never seen her wear it. It's Natalie, aka Firebug. If you see her name in the chat, it's Firebug because she must be on her phone. All right, we'll do one more. It's Melissa. Woo! Melissa, yes, girl, you're the only Melissa on. Now that's how you win a prize right there. I love it. Okay, well, we're going to take a quick picture. I'm going to let you guys hop off of here because I know y'all have things to do. If you have your water or your tea or whatever, maybe we should do these later at night so that y'all don't have to feel like you're drinking your protein shake. Uh-oh, somebody's getting on now. Did I put the wrong time for somebody? Well, we're going to let her in anyway. Okay. All right, everyone. Ready? Okay, cheers. Okay, well, we're signing off now. Thank you guys so much. I'll post a couple of the links in the recording when we get it. Y'all are amazing. And bye. I see everybody's kids are like running to the screen, like, see you later. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.
Bye,
Have a
guys.
good
Thank
rest
you.
of your Sunday.
You too. See you, ladies.